I'm Yasi Salek, and I'm the host of Bandsplain, a show where we explain cult bands and iconic artists by going deep into their histories and discographies. We're back with a brand new season at our brand new home, the Ringer Podcast Network, tackling a whole new batch of artists, from grunge gods to power pop pioneers to nu metal legends, and many, many more. Listen to new episodes every Thursday, only on Spotify.
This episode is brought to you by Visible. Maybe you've already let your New Year's resolution slip. We all have, but you can still make a 2 year's resolution with Visible. Right now, you can get a one-line wireless plan from Visible for just $20 per month for 24 months. 24 months is basically 4 bachelor seasons. That could be 4 engagements, 4 broken engagements, so many other couples we didn't see coming. It's really an eternity in Bachelor Nation. And that's unlimited 5G data powered by Verizon with no annual contracts. Switch now at Visible.com and use the code VISIBLE24. Don't miss out. Offer ends January 31st. New members only. Promotional rate with service on the Visible plan. For additional terms and network management practices, see Visible.com. This episode is brought to you by eBay Authenticity Guarantee. eBay knows that when it comes to jewelry, authenticity is the real gem. When you see the blue check mark that says Authenticity Guarantee, it means your next piece will be carefully inspired by jewelry experts and will always be worth its weight in gold. Whether you're looking to make a statement or build the perfect everyday look, eBay is making sure you get the real deal. With eBay Authenticity Guarantee, you can trust that jaw-dropping piece will always arrive jaw-droppingly real. Ensure your next purchase is the real deal. Visit ebay.com for terms. Welcome to Bachelor Party. I'm Juliet Litman. It's the morning after. This is the hangover show from this ridiculous tire fire of a Bachelor season and a finale. And to break it all down, I am joined by a reality TV legend, a luminary, Spencer Pratt. Spencer, welcome.
Wow. I'm honored to be here. And thankfully, the finale had the juice that I would like to have to discuss. You know, we could be sitting here just kind of like, you know, what are we going to talk about? But we have lots to discuss here.
Big time. It was wild. So there's a couple, I did an instant reaction podcast. And then this morning, there's a couple of like, like the sort of the Tuesday morning quarterbacking. Is it Tuesday or Monday? I feel like that phrase isn't allowed for Monday Night Football. Anyway, the Monday morning quarterbacking is a lot of people are mad that Tino was bullied or insulted or belittled by Avon coming out whilst he was still on stage. So Spencer, how do you feel the show treated Tino?
Well, you know, I'll go off of how he felt. You know, I'm going to go into his from what I saw when he was outside and he's covering his face with his journal of receipts. That was the most entertaining thing I've ever seen. So did he like write down the text? I
want to get into that. We'll come back to it. Because like
the text.
How did he choose what to write down?
When he was like covering his face, he's like, just tell her to break off with me. Dude. Like, that's real. Like, you're not trying to like, you know, that was a real moment. So she just crucified me, made me look like. So he felt, regardless of if he created it, he felt like the show and her, and this was just a takedown. So that is how he felt. And so we're not validating it, but I do agree that if that's how you're feeling, I know from somebody who feels that way, if you feel that way, and that's how you feel. So he did. I don't know necessarily, you know, I'm sure he did things to create, and you're up against what I've learned also in reality TV. If you're up against the narrator, you better be on your best behavior or you will feel like you're getting bullied. The show's against you. Everything's against you. Because it's not an even playing field. You're not the Bachelor, bro. You are a suitor.
I'm not sure if the show burned him or if he burned the show, because everything I saw from Tino last night makes me think that he's like Dexter or something like that. Like, I'm just like, does this man have a deep secret?
Oh, like,
yes, like sociopath.
Like a serial. Oh, that's what I said. He was spooking me out. I was like, when he was on the couch and then he would get up and like walk, and it was like very Ed Norton and Primal Fear vibes. I was like, dude, she should just, these are some red flags. it was similar to the red flags that I got from that. I'm bad with names. The one dude with Gabby, when he like raised her voice and she's like, "Why are you yelling at me?" And he's like, "I'm not yelling. I just get emotional," or whatever.
Who was that?
Like maybe like 3 episodes back.
I think that was with Rachel. Was it with Gabby? I don't remember. Oh, yeah, Avon. That was with Avon and Rachel.
Avon.
You're right.
Yeah. So that was also a scary moment. I was like, girl, these are red flags.
I don't think Avon actually was getting mad at her, though. I think that she was overreacting, but that's a different story. We'll come back. We'll come back to Avon. But with Tino, do you think that he was the victim of a bad edit, or was he the victim of his own behavior? Yeah, I mean, I just feel like if anyone could
victim of his own behavior.
Oh, interesting.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
agree.
Can't look that,
but I also feel like we like missed something. I'm just like, what was going on that we didn't see?
That was the quote that I liked that he did say in the like when he's sitting on the couch. And he's like, I just wish there was like, I wish everyone could see what I saw through my eyes. And he was complimenting her, but it was also like, felt like there was undertone shade. Like, and then the way they had it, and I don't know if I missed something on Twitter or if there's receipts out or some Reddit about what we're not talking about between both of them. Cause he's acting like he's got some dirt on her and she's like, oh, you want me to go there? I'm like, what they edited out on the couch. So I'm not gonna I just assume something illegal if ABC's not talking about it, cause now, that's why as ABC editing something out. So
it's not out there, but clearly something was left out. And so here I went to Reddit last night right away. I was like, what do people on Reddit think? The prevailing theory on Reddit is that something sexual happened between them, not assault or whatever, but some sexual awkwardness. I don't know what it is. And also, I'm not saying I think that. That's just what Reddit was saying. And one piece of evidence was when he was recounting their conversation about if they were going to get together or not. And he said, you can sleep in a separate room.
I thought that was all weird too. That was let me pin that.
Yeah.
So I knew that.
Yeah. So I think there clearly was something else that happened before he just kissed this girl. If all he did was kissed her. Sorry, side note. Do you think he only kissed her? Not to call him a liar, but just based on what you know about men.
Well, my favorite part was the way he tells the story. He's like, so, it was just this quick thing. Nothing happened before the show. And then when I saw her in the bar, we had a lot of catching up to do. I was like, wait, you got a lot of catching up to do with somebody who you met in passing. And then it was just a total little innocent kiss. So no,
he said it was a tiny kiss. I don't even know what that means. A tiny kiss.
Well, I said to Heidi an inappropriate comment. I was like, well, where was this tiny kiss? Because we're you didn't specify the location of this,
what was being kissed. What was tiny?
It was just a tiny little kiss. So this little part.
I am just very confused. Something was clearly left out. So people on Reddit think it was sexual. I think there's you think it's something illegal. I just think there's some deep secret here. I'm just what are they not alluding to? And it seems like it's bad for both of them because Rachel kept being you really want to do this? She was surprised that he wanted to have the conversation. So it has to be bad for him too. Plus, she didn't want to get into it. But I also wonder if maybe they have separate issues that neither was supportive of the other through. Because Rachel's clearly screwed up from this experience. And who could blame her? She's had a shitty year. But it doesn't explain him.
Heidi gets all, I'm just too mercenary watching reality TV. And I look at it mercenary and Heidi's over here a, real fan of love and romance. It's when you say had an awful year, I'm like, star of a hit ABC show, got an extra 1 million Instagram followers, got to date lots of guys. Some are, yes, clean, but Heidi's she thought she was love. Their real love comes out of it, So
she did really want it. Let's see how many followers she has now. It's a great point. I didn't even look but
my point is people have real awful years.
Okay.
I'm let's put
That's true.
I don't feel too bad for her.
Also, she only has 501,000 followers. That's really bad.
Oh, that's a bad year, actually. Now I feel bad for her. You should get the minimum, 1.2 million off of this.
And Gabby has 871,000.
Maybe she's a TikToker, though.
Yes, it's true. I'm old. Are you on TikTok? I heard your TikTok is funny.
I turned into a TikTok. This is a whole nother podcast, but I turned into a TikTok live battler. Nobody even knows about this subculture, but
What is it?
You wish we really just decide real quick?
Yeah. What is
All
it?
right, so I accidentally stumbled upon this because I'm always like scrolling TikTok and my For Your page always had these people live. And I'm like, what are they doing? So I click in and these people are like, some talk smack going back and they're just like, let's go team, let's go speed challenge. And these like crazy virtual emoji gifs are like popping on the screen and lions are roaring and interstellar rockets are shooting. I'm like, what is this?
Is this a video game? What are
it
you
looks like a video
about?
game with but live. I'm live versus somebody. Now you can have 4 boxes and it's teams, and then you like have to freeze and this whole thing. I'm like, what is the point of this? It ends up if you're in the top ranking TikTok live, so they don't look at it like just battling. You're just live, like the top of the live. You're on.
How do you get to the top?
By ranking. So I've only been doing this for a week, and last night I got to top 6. Which is like unheard of.
But ranking what? I'm like, I feel like we're Rachel and Tino. I'm like, what are we fighting over? So
ranking how many like diamonds you get, and diamonds are through points, and points are like, between like how many likes you get on the.
It sounds like you're on an ayahuasca trip right now, and like I'm on Earth. Like,
Heidi thinks that it's like a simulation because she's been watching me. And she goes to bed and she thinks it's like a brainwashing thing. So, moral of the story is. First off, these guys in the lead are millionaires now. They're making millions of dollars doing TikTok battling. So I'm like, I'm going to be a millionaire TikTok battler.
Are you already a millionaire?
In energy and, like energetic millionaire. But no. Far from. We are in crystals. Maybe all my money's in my crystals if I sold them all, but I will never do that.
Do you really believe in the power of crystals? Is that real?
I do. But I don't argue with people. I've learned that like I'll just sound too nutso, and I like
because you sound really normal so far. So
but I'll go like past nutso. So I look at crystals like I describe them to another person. Like when you go shopping and you get a really nice shoes that you love and you like spent your money on it and you feel really good, that's energy from something you purchased. So let's just go down to like, if you don't believe this aquamarine is going to give you courage energy, it will give you the energy like, dang, that's a beautiful blue.
I see. So it's like a physical item that gives you a boost.
Yeah, let's that's the basic. That's all. But for me personally, no, I'm like tapped into like magical wizard energy powers,
Okay, great.
But back to the the not drug allegations. Yeah, another thing they edited too weird with back to Tino. I like calling him Dino. I think he looks more. I
could see him being a Dino. Is Tino his full name? I thought that Tino was like usually a nickname, but I don't know his full name, so I don't know.
So the thing they make, because I was like, what? I had to watch it twice. I was like, what is he doing going outside? He was going to talk to the producers.
Yes, and I think his shirt was open because he was trying to get his mic off.
The mic off, and he's like, where is this? Where? Because the first time I watched it, I was like, he must have the best 6-pack, and he's just like, let me get these abs out on this finale episode.
I actually think he's hotter because he doesn't have a 6-pack, but that's just my own personal taste. I just think he's like, I think in a vacuum, before I knew anything about him, I was like, this is a naturally handsome man. But now I know him and I'm afraid of him.
I said, hi, this guy scares me, and anybody that can like talk that low and whisper like in a serious conversation, I'm like, yeah, no, but I
his emotional swings and like the way that the swings and how he was speaking were so severe and so jarring that I was like, did they edit this weird or is he just acting like this? Like he's like yelling and crying outside and like pacing around. And then he comes in and he sits on the couch and he's like, Rachel, what do you want from this? And it's like he's dead inside all of a sudden. And I'm just like, how does this happen?
Well, like that's the problem with editing. Cause like, did he go out, tell the producer and like, just go back in, just say this beat and we're good. And then you can leave, you get paid and everything's all good. These guys get paid, right?
The lead does. I think they probably get like a per episode fee, but they don't get a lot of money.
Well, he's so famous because if I saw him, I would definitely do a TikTok with him and be like, you play the killer and I'll be like,
Dexter cosplay. I think Tino will never be heard from again. Like I think that like I think a lot of the guys this season really didn't enjoy it and just like want to be done with this experience and move on. So I actually would be surprised if he like tries to parlay this into anything other than just like, I don't know, more construction business. I don't know.
I really hope he goes on Bachelor in Paradise and just like pops up
Not
like
a
out of
chance.
nowhere,
Maybe
whispering
next
on
year.
everyone.
Maybe next
2
year, but
years.
like I can't imagine him doing I know he's not doing Paradise this year because they thought they were together. And when they taped Paradise, he was still with Rachel. But I
I
mean,
was on a different note. The finale showed me I really did like 2 Bachelorettes because at first I was like, nah, I was trying to like wrap my head around it. But think about if we didn't have 2, that finale wouldn't have that. It had a little something with the receipts and the text messages, which I feel like those texts go to all the girlfriends before these guys go on the show. Like that standard
I don't
breakup.
think
Like
I
I'm
think
going on
Eric
to the.
sucks, but not because of the text messages. I think that the blackface photo is just like crazy, but I think that the text messages are just kind of like dick. That's just like what guys are like. I think the one problem with reality dating shows is like the bar for guys is too high. As someone who's dated men, I mean, I can just tell you, most guys suck and they're assholes and they treat you badly. So I feel like this, as you said, is like pretty standard. Eric's just like, yeah, I'm going on the show and like use this as the easy way out. And then when you get back, I don't know, like people talk to their exes and say like fanciful things all the time.
Yeah, and I feel like if every ex wanted to like get into the drama, a lot of them have these texts like, "Hey, going on this show, it's not real because if I get kicked off, we're gonna get right back in the relationship. But if I get to the finale, maybe I'll get married." I don't know. I am also way too mercenary vibes. Heidi's like, "There's couples that work out of this." I'm like, "Okay, honey." But then again, if you looked at my text going into the hills, I would add those texts like I'm going on this show, I'm going to date all these girls. And then next thing you know, I'm married, I'm expecting a second child. So, I mean, reality TV is wild.
Yeah, it seriously is. But Eric also, I mean, the woman who posted the text, her name's Amanda Kaler. She posted a picture of Eric at a bowling alley and it was like, same tricks, different girl, and like Gabby will learn. And Eric didn't choose the bowling date. Like maybe he said he likes bowling, but he had nothing to do with setting up the fact that his first date with Gabby was bowling. And second of all, like it's a really common activity. Like I just don't think it says anything other than like they went bowling one time.
Like we had drinks at a bar too.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely absurd. I think as I said, there's reasons to dislike him, but I don't think the texts are that bad. But maybe I'm just an apologist for men everywhere, which is also possible.
I will say out of my memory is not very good, but in a long time, Rachel impressed me more speaking like her truth, however you want to say, on camera in like an emotional setting better than I've seen a lot of people in a long time.
I totally agree with that. We talked about that last night. She was great in confronting Tino.
And the way she just like, it wasn't like, I was like, this lady could do motivational public speaking or something. I'm like, yes, yes.
She has to be pretty. I think she must be compelling in person and doesn't translate to TV because I didn't enjoy her most of the season, but then I did like her last night. I thought the way that she spoke to Tino was like, and was forceful and impressive, and she really called him out on his bullshit in a way that like I really respected. I liked it. I'm just dying to know what she wouldn't share.
Yeah, that's the thing I don't like. Like, hey, well, you can't do this. You can't say they edited out on the couch. Now you're on a couch. Tell us because we're missing a huge piece of the story. And if you're not going to tell us, you better leak it to TMZ that night, and we should be able to at least read it. So we're watching and we're like, we know it was edited on the couch. So that's why it's something, I don't think it's like, oh, they're having like therapy and mental health issues. Like that could leak. It's either, again, Reddit, some weird sex thing happened, drugs. It's something that ABC like does not want attached to the franchise.
Yeah. And I think that's a really good way of putting it. And it's funny. I mean, I think another big storyline this morning is that the show did choose to talk about Eric's text message to this other woman, but didn't address his blackface photo, which I don't know if you're aware of this, but he dressed up as Jimi Hendrix for Halloween when he was a senior in high school, and that photo was in his high school yearbook. And that came out within the last 2 weeks. And so Spencer just shook his head in disbelief.
No, I
It's
would say also he was like probably in high school like last year. These guys look
Yeah,
so
it wasn't that
young.
long ago.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Like, not like this. I'm not condoning it, but I'm saying like, these guys aren't 50 years old living in a different era of like, let's get, I'm
It's
just saying.
It's crazy.
It
But that's
like,
sort of like another storyline with the show is like, it just kind of like can't get out of its own way. And I'm so bummed about Zach being the Bachelor. I just like watching him talk to those women was so awkward. He has no stage
he's the
presence.
one with that like really deep voice, right? Or no?
I guess he's got a deep voice. He's like David Puddy from Seinfeld, his uncle.
I don't know. I didn't like that guy. I mean, I don't.
No one likes him. Literally no one. No one.
It's so weird who gets to like.
I think they wanted it to be Nate, but Nate also had a scandal. So a so-called scandal. He like two-timed a girl and didn't tell the girl about his daughter. Again, not good for actually dating, but like for TV,
where's
I
our
think that's
standard
okay.
bar? Like, let's go.
I know. I know. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I kind of think the bar for Bachelor men is too high. Like, I just think most men are dicks.
You know what's interesting? You think that Tino is going to fade out, but something that's telling that you're incorrect on that is when she was like, oh, when we were joking and I was saying that you'd be the new Bachelor if we break up. And so she feels like he is thirsty and into the clout behind the scenes. And he's like, no, I wouldn't do it because then I wouldn't believe this work. Sure, guy. But like her real knowing him, that's her kind of like, oh yeah, I knew you're just going to go do the bat. Like,
yeah, well, he is obsessed with his own image. Like that was very clear. Like when he goes to talk to the producer outside, which seeing cast members talk to producers is just like always riveting. I can't exactly say why. I guess it's because like you're like seeing behind the curtain in some way, but like not seeing the producer and like knowing there's like a ghost in the machine there or whatever, and seeing a cast member like just turn to them. There's something about it that's like it's like reading a text message that's not meant for you. You're just like, oh, interesting. And do you feel that way watching the show as someone who's been on the show?
It's my favorite part, but it's also like you have no idea how big the ego and energy of that. Just and they're a solid producer, but they're not the like big dog. But that person feels like they are, they are, in a sense in this world, they are like this. It's the weirdest energy trip that they have with their little walkie mic that they pull up and they're like, one second, they go hold, they put their finger up and they're listening, like their Secret Service, like, it's just the weirdest thing. And I love it watching it as a viewer, but at that moment you're just like, you mother.
Right. He was obviously really annoyed.
Because he knows. And he's right. They murked him out.
This episode is brought to you by eBay Authenticity Guarantee. eBay knows that when it comes to jewelry, authenticity is the real gem. When you see the blue check mark that says Authenticity Guarantee, it means your next piece will be carefully inspired by jewelry experts and will always be worth its weight in gold. Whether you're looking to make a statement or build the perfect everyday look, eBay is making sure you get the real deal. With eBay Authenticity Guarantee, you can trust that jaw-dropping piece will always arrive jaw-droppingly real. Ensure your next purchase is the real deal. Visit ebay.com for terms. This episode is brought to you by Visible. Maybe you've already let your New Year's resolution slip. We all have, but you can still make a 2 year's resolution with Visible. Right now, you can get a one-line wireless plan from Visible for just $20 per month for 24 months. 24 months is basically 4 Bachelor seasons. That could be 4 engagements, 4 broken engagements, so many other couples we didn't see coming. It's really an eternity in Bachelor Nation. And that's unlimited 5G data powered by Verizon with no annual contracts. Switch now at Visible.com and use the code VISIBLE24. Don't miss out. Offer ends January 31st. New members only. Promotional rate with service on the Visible plan. For additional terms and network management practices, see Visible.com.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. You might say all kinds of stuff when things go wrong, but these are the words you really need to remember. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. They've got options to fit your unique insurance needs, meaning you can talk to your agent to choose the coverage you need, have coverage options to protect the things you value most, file a claim right on the State Farm mobile app, and even reach a real person when you need to talk to someone. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Let's talk about how he wrote down some quotes from Rachel. So he wrote down basically like the things that Rachel said that hurt him. And it's like, did he write them in the moment or did he like record their conversation? Like, how did that happen? What do you think is the logistics of Tino's journal?
That was my first off, when he walked in with the journal, I was like, what is in it? Like, I was because I jokingly said to Heidi the other day when I wanted, because everyone's asking me for like stories of tea, and I have so many good tea stories that I want to put on TikTok, but my memory isn't detailed enough to tell them, like, why didn't I carry a journal around and write? And she's like, I don't know. And then I said, I'm like, does he carry a journal around? But no, I think, and that was a red flag. Right when he sits down on the couch, she opens up. She should have been like, it's done. We're breaking up. You just opened up a journal with notes to try to like murk me out on television. Like, it's not going to work out.
Well, the thing that was so crazy about it to me was not only that he had it, and I said previously that it seemed like he was walking in like it was like a work meeting and he had like his to-do list of like quotes I will be sharing to indict Rachel. But she didn't dispute any of them. She only disputed the lack of context, but she wasn't like, that's not what I said. For all of the quotes that he read actually from the journal, she did not dispute. She was just mad that he wasn't saying why or when she said them. So I thought that was really interesting too. I was like, so these are actual quotes. Like she is confirming them.
They have to be texts, and they told them you can't bring in your phone to just read from the phone. Like that's not going to look good. So they said you can write. I bet a producer just wrote them out for him, and and just put them in the journal and said, here you go. I mean, unless he's full Dexter and he has his journal and he's like, oh, you're in the journal now. So they were definitely.
That's a great point, though. Probably was over text. That's a great point.
And they're not like going to pull in the future Bachelor. They'll have like live, it'll
be like on your screen,
and he'll be like pointing to them right here. You said.
I am a big notes app person. Like I use my notes app probably every day to like make lists and keep track of things and whatever.
I don't even notes app for me is the best parenting tool ever. Heidi's like, how did you think of this? And it works amazing. I'll just pull up my phone and I'll say, Gunnar, I'm opening the notes app. I'm going to write a note. Please don't write a note. Yep, writing a note. Gunnar's behavior. No, please delete. Don't write that. Right? Gunnar's doing really good. Okay, and I just like start typing like,
How old is Gunnar?
Like here, Gunnar's had a good behavior at the restaurant. Gunnar's using his own spoon to eat great bites of pancakes and having great behavior. Like that's an actual note that I'm like writing in front of him. So notes app is like,
can he read?
No, but he knows like he sees words being, and I'm like,
how old is he?
He turns 5 October 1st, but
it's my brother's birthday. I feel like you would have a lot of good advice for these Bachelor couples. If they're all like so stressed about being on TV, and you guys obviously thrive being on TV. I feel like maybe you should be on a Bachelor date or like be part of like the reacclimating to the world. It's like meeting with you and Heidi to talk about how to be famous and date. What advice would you give?
I mean, I would start at the beginning and just be like, here's the thing with all these people. And I understand it. And even when I get back on front of the camera, like it's all talk until the cameras pop up, like you can have your game plan. And then that's why people always think like, oh, reality TV is fake. It is until like this guy over here is throwing you under the bus on TV and you have this whole plan and you're like this, so it just turns real so fast because even if that person is fake too, they're fake. It's just mine. So it's a hard balance of like having a game plan and then reality kicks in and you're like, they're murking me out on television.
You keep saying murking. It's narking.
No, murk. Like Merc is like a mercenary where they kill you.
I thought you meant like narc, like a
you get murked out means you're getting killed on TV. Like
is that situation. A TikTok like ranking language that I'm not aware of?
More like an assassin Delta Force, like
Gotcha.
Like, yeah.
Well, to that point though, that's another thing about Eric, which like there's reasons to hate him, but the thing with this other woman is not one. And that's because when you go on these shows, it's like going into a sensory deprivation tank. It's like you're not exposed to the real world. Like your whole world gets like really small and all you can focus on is like Gabby and whatever and like the competition of trying to win. And so I actually completely believe that he didn't expect to buy into the show, but then he did, because if you're competitive or you just like love attention, it's like you feed on it. And so I can see where that happens actually. So I actually like really buy that.
Oh, when we did Celebrity Big Brother the first time in England, like the goal was to go in there, get like kicked out as fast as possible because you get the same check if you win or lose. I was like, this is the dumbest thing ever. And so I'm like, why would I care? But once you get in, you're locked in a house, no phone, no TV. You start like really disliking certain people. And you're like, this person cannot win this show. Like, I hate this person. Like, they're the worst. Like you just, yeah. If you're competitive, it turns. But if you don't care, then you can just phone in. Okay, I'll go back. But Heidi and I are very competitive. So together
with each other, like, or as a team?
As a team. And like when we used to do CrossFit, like Heidi would cry if I like beat her in a CrossFit workout. So like she's very.
I was actually wondering if you named your son after Gunnar, the trainer.
No, she had her brother. Her brother growing up had a friend named Gunnar, so she loved it all her life. She picked it, but no. And Gunnar Peterson's Gunnar. Gunnar is Gunner.
Got it. Sorry,
Big
my bad.
Difference.
Anyway, what's your main piece of advice for Gabby and Eric? Like, how do they survive this?
Oh, I don't think they will. I didn't get that.
There's no hope.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know Heidi is over here. Like, I think, but
what would Heidi tell them?
I mean, stay together. That's the power of when you're together, forces of nature. Like, that's the thing when people are always like, how did you and Heidi stay together through so much? Like, we're always together. So, entities that are trying to tear you apart and going separation and space. Like when you're going through these experiences as a team, it's a lot, you could grow, you go through, but it's like, once I heard they like weren't together, like with Tino. And then I was like, oh, and that's an important part. And even real life, when you get engaged, you're not like not going to see, I mean, I don't know the average person, but I would imagine you get engaged. It's a very powerful time. You're like, this is when you're together. It was like, this isn't when you're like, you go out of town and I'll catch up with you
in 3 weeks.
Like, let's
see
text.
You in 4 weeks.
And I just was on a TV show locked up for, 18 weeks. I'm going to go get drunk with my friends and all these like attractive people, because I'm attractive people, are giving me extra attention because now I got some extra clout. They heard I'm like, let me test this, like my powers of engagement energy. So, I would advise don't do that.
So you gotta fight through any challenges by sticking to each other all the time.
Yeah, like not all, like, but definitely like don't try like a long distance relationship right now. Like,
yeah,
which you shouldn't want to. Like you're supposed to like. If I wanted to be with Heidi all the time when we were first getting together. So
now you're like never.
No, I mean we're still all together. All the differences right there, but that's the point. Like if you're not wanting to be with somebody in the beginning stages, like that's already a little, you got some.
Yeah, I think I don't want to pile on Rachel. Like I've said a lot of mean things about Tino, but it does seem from the information we have that she kind of needed to take things slower once they left the show based on what they were saying. Like he was like all into it and she was like trying to slow things down. And that's why he could have made the case that they were on a break to pull the Ross Geller, but I don't think they actually were, just to be clear.
Yeah. And then also maybe he did start scaring her, like, and she was like, I'm kind of creeped out. Like,
yeah, he's creepy.
That's what I mean. So what if like, once the cameras are gone and she's like just solo, like it's all, that's the thing, you're dating with like 52 people with you and you got your like, best friend,
more.
talent,
production.
Yeah, 100, yeah. But I'm saying like right next to you. Plus you have these talent producers that are like your best friends that are like, don't worry, he's so great. You guys are so cute all day. Like, you guys are so cute. Ha, you're so cute. And then that person's gone with their walkie-talkie, not telling you guys are cute. You're like, did I make the right decision? I need a week off.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. Also, I don't know if you caught this. They had no chemistry, like none. Like in the final episode, like when they were like making out and at the proposal, no chemistry, including when she told him, "You're the only one here." No reaction. He was completely still. He didn't like smile. He didn't cry. He didn't like move. He was frozen. It was super weird. And so like if that's not a tip off, I don't know what is.
Maybe he didn't know what that meant. Or giving,
that's true. That's possible.
Like
that's
you're
possible.
the only. Maybe he was like he thought like, huh? Like the cameras are right there, aren't they? Like, That's the other thing. Not everyone is really smart, is what I've learned in life. You can't just, there's people that I'm like, oh my God, like that's hard that they have to live life like
As a dumb person?
No, I mean, they just, people are more talented at other things than thinking is my, like, so, you always have to like, I've recently, I'm not going to name names, but I recently have somebody that's come into like our business life. And it's like, they are aware of their situation. I'm like, oh my God, is this real life? Like this, how do you function every day? Like, and they're like, ha ha ha. I'm like, no, ha, ha. Like, I don't say that to them, but
Spencer, I'm concerned that you have someone whose greatest skill is not thinking in your business life. That seems the time.
They don't work anymore, but they're still part of the Pratt Daddy team, but we joke like, oh, so like I could name her right now and she'd be like, ha ha. She went back to college to like, but she was part of the team. She worked for free, red flag. She wanted to just intern, but
that's illegal in California. So
she didn't work, by the way. Like she came, she was a college intern, like she came from college and we were like, oh my God, like you are on another planet. And so now when I think about maybe Tino is like this person I know, and you can't hold it to them. They're gone. Like, and then if there is something they're dosing on, which maybe that's what she's talking about, then he's like, if he's on Xannies or some, again, this guy is just like gone.
Who do you think he called when he goes outside and he gets on the phone? He's pacing. Who's he talking to?
His like new agent he has. No, production, like a higher up executive.
Oh, interesting. That didn't even occur to me. That's why we had to have you on. I didn't even, I was like, did he call his dad? I was just like, what's he doing?
Way. Like he's trying to go above the person in the field.
Interesting.
They call me if there's anything, you just call me, and it's gone straight to voicemail.
He hasn't posted on his social media. He only has 44,000 followers. That's really bad. Again, I don't think he doesn't strike me as the big TikTok guy, but who knows?
So here's the thing, like about any of these people, like they have to want to be famous. Heidi disagrees that they're there for love, but I will not accept that.
I think that they are hoping to be famous and would be happy to fall in love. Like,
yeah, it's a bonus. Oh, there's a hot girl. Like, that'll be cool, but that'll be fun. But like Heidi's convinced, no, this is a love show.
Does she really think that? I mean, she's been on reality TV.
Yeah, but she'll name couples that are like still together and then have found love and that are for real. And I'm like, out of how many? Like, this is like scratchers. This is like, you might as well buy scratchers and believe in lottery scratchers.
How long until you think Gabby and Eric break up? How many months you giving them?
How many followers is she at right now?
She's at 841. She's on Dancing with the Stars. I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
Oh, we'll see if they can even make it through that season. She could have a romance with her dance partner.
He's married, but that's never stopped anyone.
That's okay. They protected the brand, by giving her a married one a little bit. If he'd been single, then they would have been on. I don't know. He didn't seem.
I don't think he has a lot going on. Well, we know he doesn't. He said that he's looking for a new career. So I think that like Eric will stay in this for as long as possible. So I'm going to give them 7 months.
That's nice of you. I think because they won't be together, that works, They won't have time to really fight and dislike each other in real life. I will say it, I'm not trying to judge anyone and how they do anything, but it could have just been the clips, the way they edit. But her kisses, they come in hot. I'm like, they almost are like head, like I'm a real, like a bird. I'm really sensitive on my skin. Like if you were to grab my face like that, you would need to like wash your hands in front of me. Like I need to see how much soap you use because like that's a grip. Like that looks martial arts level kiss. Like I'd be uncomfortable on that level of kiss. Like I'll be like,
she also like we've talked about that quite a bit. I really like Gabby, so I don't I just
I'm
feel
not
bad.
shading her, and it's like if you love her, maybe you want to get just
just also the chemistry is there.
Yeah,
she's
just
also
grab my face.
She likes to feel his mullet. The whole thing is just. I mean, don't know.
in like back when I was younger, and was it Cinemax or whatever? Like that's how they kiss when I would like be
on
up later.
Skinemax.
Cinemax, whatever, back in the day. Like that was like a Cinemax kiss.
Well, I remember watching Euphoria, and I was like really disturbed to find out that like a lot of teens like learn about sex from porn. So, maybe that's what happened to her.
She's like, God, girl.
All right, Spencer, tell me how long you think they're going to be together.
All right. How long is Dancing with the Stars?
Like 3 months.
All right, 3 months, marketing, promotion. I'll go with, you're saying 7. I'm going to say 6.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll be monitoring this
I don't want to hate
situation.
on love. I hope love works out. I do. I love love. So, but fame and clout, and that's the good thing about this new world of clout is it creates so much like
a lot of stressors.
You'll know quick.
Real quick.
So,
Spencer Pratt, thank you so much for joining me.
This is such a quick pod. I had like my whole day cleared. Okay, that's fine.
I'm going to be honest. I have to do another podcast right after this.
You get to potting. Thank you to all the Bachelor fans. I believe in love too. So.
No, you don't, but that's fine.
No, it's possible. I am the evidence. I'm evidence that it can work. I didn't have social media when I went after like Hill's love clout.
Yeah, you would have been up in a lot of people's DMs.
Like,
you would have been an Adam Levine.
Yeah, like this. Adam messaged me. Did you see that?
No, he did.
I don't know if it was him, but I did see him in the village with, out with his wife. We were at Palisades Village and I saw him at Blue Ribbon Sushi. And then I thought I saw him in Air One. And then I did get a DM from an Adam. It could have been his Finsta. And he was saying, hey, come over with your mood crystals. And I was like, I'll bring Heidi. And he's like, no, come by yourself. It was weird. I didn't go.
Oh my God. Well, apparently he's interested in a lot of different people.
That's so it could have been him. It wasn't his main account. So I don't know. It could have been his, like, maybe for guys, he uses a Finsta.
Well, next time I go to Erewhon in the Palisades Village, I'll keep an eye out for both you and Adam Levine.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be with Prinsilla, whatever her name is.
Her name is Bahati Prinsloo. I also hate that Erewhon because I hate the people who are there. I've almost gotten into fights like many times.
Oh, the people that are actually
shopping. The fellow
you
customers.
Want to get a good story then? Real quick before we end.
Yeah, let's hear it.
The other day, I'm friends with the whole staff. They're my family, and I've been waiting for the hot dogs was a special, and Gunnar loves hot dogs. And Matthew in the hot bar was, waiting for somebody to like finish what they're doing. He's standing right there helping her. And he's like, Spence, you missed the hot dogs. They were here like 2 hours. Like, dang, the hot dogs. She looks over at me, dead serious. And to Matthew, she's like, can I get somebody to help me, please? And he's like, I'm right here. She's like, no, you're not. You're having small talk right now.
Oh my God, yeah.
And I looked at her and I almost did like content. I was like, should I Snapchat this? I was like, she's unhinged. Like, I don't
Sounds
even
like a Karen.
Like, yeah, her name was Valerie. So that was like.
How'd you know? Do you literally know everyone at Erewhon in the Palisades
No, her name was
Village?
Valerie because
she made an order.
Like, I don't know how I knew. Maybe I don't know. I figured out it was Valerie because I was like, dang, Valerie's the new Karen. Somebody said her name, but it was wild. And I was like, this is crazy. And
I gotta follow you on TikTok for this kind of content. Sounds great.
Oh, I'm going all in on TikTok because I've decided that, TikTok, I've had more people come up to me in the last week because of TikTok than ever being on TV.
Wow. Okay.
So there it is. TikTok's
great.
popular.
Well,
all right.
Spencer,
thank you for
once
your time.
again, thank you so much. You'll have to come back.
I'm always available. I'm super available unless you don't text me back with the emoji.
Okay, well, I definitely will. So thank you so much, Spencer. And thank you to Devon Manze for producing this episode. Back next week for Paradise.
Woo!